Hello everyone, my name is Hydrosity, and this is a different sort of video. I don't know if I'll make any more of these of this type, but anyway, what I'm going to talk about is my idea for Devil May Cry 6. I've seen other people discuss their theories or their ideas for what the game's story could entail and stuff like that. So this is what my idea for the game is. At the end of Devil May Cry 5, both Dante and Virgil go back to Hell to cut off the Qliphoth. Nero stays behind because Dante says, "We're trusting you on this end. Got it?" And Virgil tells Nero that he won't lose next time. Hold on to this till then. Dante and Virgil go back to Hell, and I don't know if they ever get out of Hell or not, but I'm pretty sure they do because the game outright shows Dante, Virgil, Nero, Nico, Lady, and all that on the game's, play the game screen after you beat the game and all that. After you complete the game, it shows them in the menus. So, what I have the idea for is this. Nero goes on a really dark path, and Nero, instead of being the protagonist of this game, he's the antagonist, and I'm going to explain that, okay? So, what I have the idea for is this. Mundus was never killed in the original Devil May Cry. He was sealed in between the realms by Dante, and he says to Dante, "Dante, one day I will return, and I will rule this world." And then Dante responds with, "When you return, give good luck to my son, will you?" Or something like that, which is a bit ironic considering that Dante never had a son and Virgil had a son, but that's besides the point. Anyway, so here's the idea I'm going for here. Nero, throughout Devil May Cry 5, is shown to have a similar obsession to power, like what Virgil has. He even says a similar line to what Virgil says in Devil May Cry 3. In Devil May Cry 3, after you fight Virgil for the first time, and then a cutscene after that, Virgil says to Dante, "Might controls everything, and without power, you cannot protect anything, let alone yourself." In Devil May Cry 5, shortly before fighting Artemis, Nero says, "Without strength, I can't protect anything. I know that." And at his Bloody Palace ending, which I don't even know if it's canon or not, he says, "I'm the one with the power." Nero seems to be wanting to get stronger. He seems to be wanting more power, paralleling what his father originally sought after. Since Mundus was never defeated, here's what I'm thinking could happen. Dante, when he fought Urizen, created some sort of break in the dimensions, maybe. Maybe their powers, when they clashed as Shin Devil Trigger Dante, not Shin, Sin Devil Trigger Dante. I keep calling it Shin because Shin means true and it's like his true form, so. Sin Devil Trigger Dante fights true form Urizen and all that. Maybe that clash between them broke like the dimensional barrier that was holding Mundus prisoner. And he escapes, but he needs a way to get back into the real world, and this is when Nero comes into play. Mundus kills Kyrie, similar to how he killed Dante and Virgil's mother. At this point, Nero is broken because he loved Kyrie with everything he had. He just lost everything he ever cared about, and he's willing to do anything. And Mundus is going to use this to his advantage. He's going to promise Nero power. Power to avenge Kyrie's death. Power to get whatever he wants. Nero is going to become a new, Nilo Angelo type character. We already know that Virgil became Nilo Angelo back in Devil May Cry 1 after attempting to fight Mundus. Mundus then defeats him, tortures him, and then turns him into Nilo Angelo as a servant. So, Nero gets corrupted by Mundus with promises of power. Becomes like this new Nilo Angelo type thing. Lady and Trish attempt to stop him because Trish knows that Mundus is bad news. Trish knows that Mundus is pure evil. And Nero straight up kills both of them. He destroys them both, eviscerating them with his newfound strength. Dante and Virgil, back from Hell, learn of this. They learn what Nero has done. Dante learns that Nero has killed Lady and Trish. Virgil learns that Nero is now threatening everything. He's destroying everything in his quest for vengeance and power. Eventually, Nero confronts Mundus. But he doesn't confront him for more power or anything like that. He doesn't ask for more strength. Nero kills Mundus and absorbs his power, becoming this new entity entirely. Dante and Virgil then have to work together to fight off Nero, whatever he's become at this point. Maybe he's more powerful than Argisax and Mundus fused. And Argisax is the final boss of Devil May Cry 2. And he could supposedly threaten the infinite dimension of hell like Mundus could, but nobody really cares about Devil May Cry 2, so whatever. Anyway, Dante and Virgil have to defeat Nero. But in that battle, it's a two-part battle. It'll take place across 2 different levels or 2 different missions. Dante is defeated in the first half, leaving Virgil to confront his son. The battle ends with Virgil impaling Nero with the Yamato, taking away his demon powers for good, and killing him. Virgil holds his son in his arms as Nero draws his last breath. He then sheds a tear for the loss of his son. Dante and Virgil then look at each other and vow to keep this from happening again. They use the Yamato to seal off hell permanently, sealing away everything inside of it, eradicating the rest of the demons and hunting them down all across Earth. With everyone dead and everything settled and all of that, Dante and Virgil both work together to run Devil May Cry from that point forward, setting aside their brotherly differences, their hatred for each other and all of that, and working together as a family in order to preserve the survival of the human race. This is the idea I have for Devil May Cry 6. I don't know if it's too dark or anything like that. I don't even know if Capcom will do something like this. I'm hoping they will. And this is all assuming that they're not making a Devil May Cry 1 remake, which has been talked about, has been rumored about quite heavily. So if they made a Devil May Cry 1 remake where Dante actually kills Mundus, then this whole idea goes out the window, because this whole idea hinges on Mundus still being alive to influence Nero into becoming something like Nilo Angelo or something like that. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!